Let's get to your questions this week. I think I've run my mouth enough about myself and what I've been up to and the things that I find important. All right, fat shaming success story. All right, it was a rough one, you know. All right, hey, Bill, I'm 6 feet tall, and 5 months ago I weighed 320 pounds. Big boy! Jesus, buddy. All right, I'm now down to 243 and trying to get down to around 200. I've been using your self-shaming method, and it's obvious that it works. I love that self-shaming wins. You getting in there, huh? You taking your shirt off, standing in the mirror, jumping up and down. Look what you did. Look at it. And you build yourself up. Turn it around. He said, even though my people tell me I look good, I don't let up on myself. Thanks for the motivation. Yeah, man, you got to do it. You got to stay on yourself. And this is the thing, too. This is psychologically how I look at it. I look at it like each week is a game, like in the NFL season. All right? I get on the scale. I figure out how much fucking weight I need to lose. All right? I needed to lose like a good fucking, I was a good, oh, Jesus. My fighting weights, when last time I had a flat stomach, I was between like 162 and 165. So I was up to 187. So I needed to lose a good 20, 25 pounds. All right? So I figured, I'll lose 2 to 3 a fucking week. I'm looking at a good 10-week season here. So what I do is if I lose, I have it on the calendar. I write the weight that I'm at, and every Sunday I just write down the weight that I want to be the next Sunday. And I weigh myself every day, sometimes a couple of times a day. I get fucking psychotic with it. And I try to make weight every Sunday. And I try to do it without starving myself, because then you just kind of eat away at muscle and you become very fleshy. Very fleshy. Which is you're just all gelatinous and shit. You want the muscle because I guess it eats the fat, because that's what somebody in a bar who wasn't a fucking nutritionist told me. All right? So, and then how I do it so I don't fuck up is because I know that there's no way I'm going to go 10 fucking straight weeks and eat absolutely perfectly. I know at some point I'm going to fuck up and have a burrito and a taco and a fucking brat or whatever the fuck I did. And I just try to immediately get back on the stick. And then that week, if I don't make weight, I call that week a loss. And then I just look at my record. I just pretend I'm a coach. All right. I was 2-0. Now I'm 2-1. I can't go 2-2. Can't go 2-2. Then the local fucking sport writers are going to get, is it time to make a change? So, I won the first 2 weeks with this diet. I lost the next one. I tried to call it a bye week, but I'll say that's a loss. I was 2-1. Then I won the next 2 weeks in a row. And this week I was looking at a loss. So instead of being 5-1, I was looking at 4-2, and I didn't like that number. And I just went really hardcore with the working out and trying to eat as perfect as I could. So I just look at it that way. And if you, if you fuck up or whatever, it's not the end of the world unless you allow it to be. And I think a lot of people, myself included, is when you fuck up on your diet, the next day what you have to watch out is when you eat a bunch of grease or sugar or salt, you're going to wake up the next day and you're going to crave that shit. So what you've basically started is a little fire that you can easily stomp out with your fucking slippers while you're still in your bathrobe by just making yourself a bowl of oatmeal or something healthy for breakfast. And then you eat that, you're because you've been eating so well, you're going to still be on that craving healthy stuff. This is how it works for me, okay? Obviously, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm none of this, no sports medicine, nothing. This is just what's working for me. I've realized after years, I think it was stupid when people said food is a drug. I realize finally now that it is. So when I fuck up, and I basically in a food version hit the crack pipe, I just make sure the next day that when I get up, like before I even I go for a walk, I drink some water with some lemon, and that will really calm you down, so you don't get a fucking Danish or go out and get some waffles or some salty fucking eggs and cheese and bacon and all that shit. That's what's been working for me. So if you want to go from 243 to 200, just maybe, try that. If it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, I'm sure there's a zillion other things on the internet by professionals, but I'm happy for you, man. That's fucking insane, dude. That's what? 320 to, that's almost 80 fucking pounds. 77 pounds, dude. That's unbelievable. Good for you, man. Keep going. All right, drought shaming. Oh, God. Hey, Bill, up here in Northern California, we are on tight water restriction. Pretty much everyone's lawns are dead or mostly brown. Personally, it's driving me up the wall to have a dead-ass yard, but, you know, I'm going to do my part. My issue is these selfish who have the fucking nerve to just flood their goddamn lawns like they're special or something. I want to drought shame the blatant water users in my neighborhood, but I don't want to shit where I eat. Do you have any thoughts or advice? By the way, we saw your show when you came to Sacramento and you killed, man. We hope you come back soon. Oh, thank you. Well, look, I never advocate ratting somebody out. But it's a weird thing when somebody's doing something that affects the whole tribe. You know what I mean? This isn't like, the guy drove home, I don't know, and whatever. I can't think of a fucking example. This is something that really is affecting the entire state. I don't know what I would do. Why don't you leave him an anonymous note and just say, listen, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but we are in a drought. You're not supposed to be watering your lawn, and I'm not the kind of person to rat somebody out. That's what you do. And I would really hope that you don't put me in a position to have to call the local authorities about you watering the shit out of your fucking lawn. So then basically what you did is you went passive aggressive. You didn't rat him out. You basically, listen, dude, don't make me fucking do this. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, we're in serious fucking trouble here. So that whole no snitching thing, it becomes a little bit of a gray area. So why don't you give the guy a fucking chance? You know? Don't be in the letter. Just say, please, I don't rat people out, but, you know, this is the needs of the state, and the people in the state are way bigger than you and your yard. Please don't put me in a position. You got to go walking, like in True Romance. When he fucking clasps his hand together, like whatever he said, I beg you, don't put me in this position or something, whatever the fuck he said. That's what I would do. So then you don't have to fucking rat him out. Then if, he keeps watering his lawn, I don't know, what do you do? You know what you do? You pussy out and you have your wife make the call. I don't know, man. I really have zero tolerance when it comes to people, I don't know. But look at me. I flew a fucking helicopter down to my fucking gig. And I'm not using bottled water. But as my instructor was saying, like, dude, we just fucking sent leaded gas through the atmosphere. So, I mean, I'm a fucking hypocrite, too. I don't know what to tell you, but it does bug me when everybody else is trying to tighten the fucking belt and there is that person just fucking watering the shit. I'll tell you, the people in my neighborhood, man, they're fucking watering the shit out of there. I don't even have any grass in my fucking yard. You know what I mean? I got a couple of, I water the plants that are actually producing food. My wife likes all these other fucking plants. I was like, who gives a fuck about a plant? If it's not feeding me, what the fuck do I care about it? Let's get them out of here, right? So that's a bit of a fight. But like some of my neighbors, man, it's like they water their shit. And what kills me is not that they're necessarily watering it. It's that their sprinklers are so fucked up. It's just shooting out into the street, landing on the hot tar and then just evaporating. What they're really doing is spraying people's cars that probably just got them washed, which you're not supposed to. I haven't washed my car in fucking months. Look, dude, we're all fucking trying. Maybe that guy with the green lawn, maybe he's doing something else. I have no idea. But, look at me. I mean, I fly around in helicopters. Who the fuck am I to say that? All right, here we go. Is Phil Collins a good drummer, Bill? Bill, insert generic redhead insult here. Oh, okay, thank you. What do you think about Phil Collins as a drummer? His drumming was a staple of the 80s, but he never shows up on any greatest drummers list. As a drum enthusiast yourself, can you explain why? Is he not a great drummer? As an average music listener, but not a drum expert, I think he drums like an awesome motherfucker. But I know fuck all about the technicalities of drumming except what you share. Is Phil Collins great or even good? Please help. Phil Collins is a fucking monster. He's an unbelievable fucking drummer. And he has his own sound. And what I love is the time when he came up, there was this fad of having no bottom head on your toms, which are basically you have your bass drum, your snare drums, and then Basically, you know, someone does a fill, those fucking things. Those are your tom-toms, right? So there was a time where having no bottom head, for whatever fucking reason, they were called concert toms. There was people that just liked that sound. Like they went through this whole studio time in the studio, I think, where they were really deadening the sound. Like drums really had a dead sound, and maybe that's why they did it. I don't know. I'm getting in over my head very quickly here. But he came up, you know, when I go all the way back to the when he was just playing drums in Genesis, and Peter Gabriel was still in it, and they were that whole prog rock band. I think even back then he didn't have any bottom heads, and he has his own sound, and he's fucking left-handed, and he's an absolute fucking monster. And In the Air Tonight, that fucking drum fill, that's one of those things that, you know, I guess if you played drums for 3 months, you could mimic it, but could you come up with it? So why doesn't he get credit? Well, I would say because he played, when he played drums in Genesis, they were a progressive rock band, and I think it was, I don't know, it was just too fucking avant-garde. It wasn't pop. So he didn't quite get the credit. And then when the 80s came around, he became the front man. He became the singer, and he'd go back. There was a Chester Thompson, and they'd play drums together, maybe do a little drum battle or something like that. But then it was considered, oh, wow, look, he can. There was a lot of people, even by the 80s, who were like, oh, he can play drums too. They didn't know that he like started off as a drummer. He's one of those amazing guys that, like, you know, is like Dave Grohl, where he's in fucking Nirvana and your lead singer dies. I mean, you're usually fucked as a drummer. That guy stepped out to the forefront and started his own band, has become a front man in his own right. And I always talk about that, and I never thought to think that Phil Collins did the same thing. Peter Gabriel left, and he just went out right to the front